get those goosebumps every time. All around, things on mine, you make everything feel fine. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the high, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, we can throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time.
Up the mags.
Yes, sir.
Hello! Get in! Get in. Hello, everyone. Hello, Summer, as well. Welcome to Loaded Mag NUFC. And this is a bit of a mixed bag show. You're going to have a reaction. You're going to have a draw live. You're going to have a members, Loaded Ultras members draw. You're also going to have fully loaded transfer show. So a lot in the show, so stick with us throughout. And there's a number of prizes up for grabs as well in the Loaded Ultras member draw. Let's go through it, and first of all, let's see how everybody is. Chris, how are you getting on?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm not too bad. I was telling you pre-show, wasn't it? I've developed a bit of a headache in the last few hours. I don't know why, but I said maybe it was that Bromley goal. Who knows? But yeah, on the whole, mate, I'm all good. Looking forward to seeing who we get in the next draw. Looking forward to the members draw. Looking forward to talking about the game, and of course, it's another fully loaded transfer show. So how could I not be looking forward to that? So all good, mate. All good. Pete, how you doing, fella?
All good. Great to get through into the next round. Looking forward to the draw, and another good performance after a little bit of a scare. So yeah. I'm all good. To be fair, looking forward to a massive week ahead, a big double header in the Premier League. Massive for Newcastle United. More important than today. So buzzing all round. 8 in a row, boys. 8 in a row. Get in there. 8 wins in a row.
Get in. Do you have your sleeping bag ready, Pete, by the way?
I'll need to get it ready. That's for sure.
Okay. We won't go there.
Just before you go on, he's back again.
Tyson. Well played, Tyson.
Unbeaten in January. We are so far, Tyson, and you are a man of your word. Absolutely top stuff. Thank you for your super chats. They are open, as Tyson has proven. Great stuff, mate.
Nice one. What's also open is that like button. Yeah, that's free anytime you want to click on it. And subscribe as well. That's also free. Rightio, let's get into it. This was the team news. We knew there was going to be plenty of changes. Any surprises for you, Chris, when the team news dropped?
The only surprise for me in that team was seeing Joe Linton. I thought Joe Willock would play. Obviously, Joe Willock wasn't in the squad. So I suppose with Joe Willock absence, it maybe not that surprising. But yeah, I mean, other than Joe Linton, I was pleased to see everyone get a run. I suppose the other surprise as well was Vlachodimos still not being able to get on the pitch. I did earmark him for a start in this game. Maybe part of the whole Martin Dubravka, persuasion to stay. Who knows? Maybe saying, you're going to be our cup keeper as well as our number one. So maybe that's just another reason to try and persuade him to stay at Newcastle, or maybe just the fact that Eddie Howe does not like Odysseus Vlachodimos. Who knows? But yeah, other than those two, so Dubravka and Joe Linton, which I wasn't expecting, no real big surprises. Great to see, some of the players just below the first 11 get a run out today. I thought it was important. Great to get minutes, in the likes of Barnes and Kelly. Obviously Miley as well, which I know that we'll talk about in due course. But no, great to see some players who don't always get an opportunity in the first 11 to get some minutes in the legs, and obviously great to see Fabian Schär back in the team as well after that 2-match suspension. So yeah, I had no problems with the lineups, and obviously a very, very, very strong bench. So yeah, I was pleased when I saw the lineup.
And of course, Adi, the keeper, the Greek keeper, rocking the shades. He knew it was coming. And obviously a massive fan of Top Table Talk as well. Pete, your thoughts on the lineup?
Yeah, Yeah, it wasn't far off what I thought it was going to be. To be fair, I thought Demos would get would get a run out if he. I thought to myself, if he's not going to play today, when is he going to play? Well, I think they've answered that. I don't think he is going to play. It's as simple as that. But Dubravka was in. I wasn't mad at that at all. Natural selection there. And then it was really sort of for me, it was what they're going to do in midfield. I thought they would bring Bruno in because he didn't play midweek and just kind of have him there as that insurance policy. They didn't. They went with Miley, Longstaff, and Joe Linton. I think Willock's got a muscle injury. I think he was the plan was to play him today. But the commentators did say that he's picked up a muscle injury. So that's not good news because we don't know how long he will then be out for, which is a shame. But I was absolutely delighted to see Lewis Miley in there because I believe he needed minutes. He needs to be able to be put in there, given the opportunity, and be able to go and express himself, whether he was great or whether he was poor. To be express himself. I'm sure we're going to talk about Lewis Miley a bit more later on because he was absolutely superb today, in my opinion. So, that was the only thing for me. Other than that, it's what I expected and happy to see initially.
Happy to see. What I wasn't actually happy to see, I'll skip through to the end for a second. It was that Alex Murphy didn't get a run out when he brought on Tonali. He said, that's it. Alex Murphy isn't getting a run out now. But does that mean he's off somewhere pretty soon on loan? I don't know. Well, look, let's get into the game. This was the Bromley team as well that lined up. For me, I missed the first 15 minutes, but we'll try and look for a stream. I know in the UK you had it on the iPlayer, but shout out to Optus Sports 5, my friends there that sorted me out in the end. But the Bromley after 8 minutes, they scored a goal to go 1-0 up. Consgrave, I think, was scored from 20 yards. But what did you make of that goal, lads? I think I saw a bit of a replay of it.
Go on, Chris.
I thought it was a good finish from the Bromley lads. I thought, to be fair, it was a decent finish. However, I do think Martin Dubravka should have done better with it. I feel a bit harsh criticising Dubravka given the form he's been in, and certainly what he's done outside of making saves for Newcastle. In terms of our build-up play and playing with the ball from the back. But I think it's fair to say Martin Dubravka will look back on that chance or that goal and think, he should have done better with it. But no other, without spoiling it for anyone at home, no other major incidents or upsets, I think, throughout the game. So I'm not going to dwell on it, but I just think that he should have done better. It was a decent shot, and fair play to the Bromley lads who put the ball in the net. But I think he should have saved it, really, and he'll look back on that and think the same.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Pete? Any thoughts on their goal?
First of all, I thought it was a really good move from Bromley. A really good move, really well worked, and people can argue that we let the ball go quite easily. Miley was in there. I think Longstaff might have been in there, but they really put us under pressure. And I thought it was a really good take from. I can't remember the guy who scored it, but I can't remember his name. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, that's. It was a really good take from him. Really, really good shot. Struck the ball really well. But I do expect Dubravka to save it. I have to be honest. It was in the corner. His hands are there. He should really be getting onto that. And regardless of his recent form, I would have expected him to save that. I thought it was poor from him. Luckily for us, it was the only poor thing he did in the game. And I thought actually was quite assured after that, to be fair, that which fills me with hope going into Wednesday night against Wolves. But yeah, I thought it was a really good goal. And we can look back now at the end of the game knowing that we won comfortably, and it was there's a part of me that's glad that they got their moment today. Bromley to be able to get that goal, watching their fans celebrate and go mad. They've been really respectful of us. I think we've been really respectful of them in the build up to the game. I may have not been as welcoming of their goal had we not won the game, but the fact that we have, I thought, fair play to them. They got their moment and they've travelled a long way, and they'll go back. Thinking about that moment, and that moment will go into their club's history. There's no doubt about it. Fair play to them. Really, really good goal.
Nice one.
Like, what about you? Well, what was going through your mind? Honest, okay, you didn't.
I
See,
can tell you exactly what's going through my mind. Where's the fucking
the goal,
sleeves?
but
That's what was going through my mind.
when it popped up, what was your reaction to
that? I was jumping around from pillar to post to try and find it on different things. I was sure actually that a red button will pop up on BBC first of all, but no, I had to be the iPlayer. But what was my reaction? I saw we were 1-0 behind, and I was like, "Oh, here we go!" And I did actually. I just my stream just came online as Miley scored. So yeah, it was very early, so we were going to get back into it. I knew we had if we really needed to, we could go to the bench and strengthen. But the team that we had out there should have been capable of getting something from the game. But that was my initial thoughts. But didn't have long to wait. I can't remember the minute. It was around the 15th minute or so, because that's when I got to see the game. Where Miley scored the equalizer, a shot from 25 yards. I haven't seen the goal yet, but I think it went to the top corner. Talk me through it, Chris. How did it all come about?
Mate, it was an absolutely ferocious strike. I must admit, I don't recall much of the build-up. Tell me, I mean, Pete may be able to go into a bit more detail on this because I was in and out of the living room at that point. It gone 1-0, and I was messing around. I was sorting Summer's something to eat out for Summer, and I just remember coming back in and I seen Miley pick the ball up about 25 yards out, and I thought, "Oh, go on, have a crack, lads," and he did, and bloody hell, it was some finish. Keeper had no chance. Really, really good strike. I could be wrong, Pete, but I feel like there was an opportunity before that. But again, because I only caught the tail end of it, I only actually saw the strike, which as I say, was absolutely magnificent. It was a fantastic finish from young Lewis Miley. But yeah, I didn't see much of the build-up play, I've got to be honest.
It was the same, really. It was sort of nice passing movements, just to try and create the space. But the one thing we did in that moment is our forward players went and penetrated the box, which pushed them back. That then allowed, when the ball got played into Miley, he had probably like 10 yards in front of him before their closest defender, which allowed him to just take a touch inside and then just unleash an absolute rocket. And look, when we play against teams that are going to play that low block, they're winning 1-0. They're going to sit in for 5 or 10 minutes. That's the job. That's what you do. Most teams do now. You need someone that's going to be able to produce that moment. You know, we've had Sandro Tonali in games gone by. We've had Fabian Schär in games gone by. You need someone to do that. And for Lewis Miley at 18 to take on that opportunity and responsibility, it was a fantastic strike. It was a superb effort. And the goalkeeper wasn't getting nowhere near it. He was diving. It's one of them where the keeper dives, but they're just diving for the effect. They know they're not getting anywhere near it, and they're almost hoping. You can see from that picture, the goalkeeper's almost wishing the ball to go wide of the post.
This look good on camera.
Yeah, it does. It does. It adds to the effect, and it's you know what? It was just hit so true. There was very little backlift. Didn't need very much backlift. It was just drilled, absolutely drilled like an arrow. Like it was honestly, for the technique of the boy at 18 years old to hit that so smoothly. It was just a brilliant goal, and it was absolutely what we needed as a kind of a pick-me-up to the fans, because I think the fans were a little bit shell-shocked. I think the players were a little bit shell-shocked, but for Miley to do that, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Superb goal.
Superb. Great. We'll carry on. Of course, we're going to go live to the draw when it's happening. Pete, I'm hoping you have eyes on a TV for the draw, because I definitely don't. But
it's on the same channel as Man United. It's on at the moment, yes. We'll keep an eye on that.
Cool.
What I will do is, when that game's done, I may take off my camera because I might have to swivel into the other room for a set, so I can
get set up. You're part of the draw, aren't you? Yeah. So
yeah.
Work away.
To watch the big definitely.
All right, 37 minutes. Then fast forward to then because it was all kind of one-way traffic in Newcastle on the attack. With 37 minutes, Barnes with the ball across. Sula connects with the post, but that was one of the chances that came our way. Newcastle were pretty much all over them, all over Bromley. They had about 80% of play, was what they said on the commentary. But the Bromley holds strong and to keep in the tie and alive at halftime. So halftime into 1-1. Cue the second half. Then we'll go straight into the second half. There's a need for Newcastle to make some changes. Bruno comes on for J7, probably planned as well to give Bruno some minutes since he missed the League Cup first leg. And Gordon may not have been planned. Gordon came on for Barnes. So that's how we lined up in the second half. Then around the 47 minute or so, a Targett gets taken down in the box. Penno. Was it a penalty for you, lads?
Yeah, 100%. It was a penalty. I felt a bit harsh on the lads because you can tell like he's gone in with the right intentions. I know the referee said, "Oh, he was rash. You know, he shouldn't have lunged in." But I do think there was an attempt there to play the ball. I don't think it was a case of, I'll just throw myself at it. He did try, and unfortunately, he's just timed it slightly wrong. There was a couple of question marks, certainly from the commentator anyway, but he said, "Oh, is there enough contact?" But he makes contact. There's no doubt about it. He makes the contact, and it's a penalty. And then to go on to Gordon's finish, I was really pleased when I saw Anthony Gordon pick the ball up. I know after Alexander Isak, he's the next in line in terms of penalty takers, but I did wonder for a moment whether they'd give it to Willa Sula. I wasn't 100% sure, but I think with the game being in the balance, it's important to put your penalty taker on it, and Anthony Gordon dispatches it comfortably, like really, really good finish. I don't know about you boys, but I did have a little moment when I was having flashbacks to the Everton game and I was thinking, come on, lad, don't miss this. But he dispatched it really, really well, sent the keeper the wrong way, bullet into the keeper's right, our left as we're looking at it. Really, really good finish.
Good finish. Great goal to take us 2-1 up. But Pete, your thoughts on whether it was a penalty and Gordon's dispatching it?
Yeah, 100% a penalty. It was blatant, really. Targett had already played the ball and then he just kind of cleaned him out. I think we need to do more of that. We need to entice players into the box to make a challenge. We don't do it enough, I don't think. 100% a penalty, and lovely. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the goal he scored against Man City at home. The penalty, very, very similar into that same corner, just whipping the ball, which is what he does best. He does best when he just whips the ball into that far corner. I know he can't always do it, and he needs to kind of mix it up. But a lovely penalty. He's got good technique on those penalties. The only anomaly was the Everton game where he tried something different. It was almost like he was trying to outthink Pickford. But normally his penalties are very good. We saw one at Nottingham Forest in the Carabao Cup. Again, very, very good penalty. So was never really worried once he stepped up. And I think if I'm right in thinking, the penalty list goes Isak, Wilson, Gordon, and then Fabian Schär. So even if Gordon wasn't taking it, I think Fabian Schär would have took it anyway. Because I think that seems to be the kind of pecking order in penalties. But yeah, lovely goal. Lovely.
Cool.
Sigh relief. I was like,
yes, it was.
We're in the lead. We're good.
Cool. Gordon adding to his tally in the league. He's been on fire after a rocky enough start, but he's really picked it up in the last little while. Right. Targett as well, actually. He had a good game today. He's earned his wages this week at least. So well done to Targett.
Yeah,
Targett, good to see him back. 57 minutes. Well worked corner. Ended with the Gordon shot, but he kind of hit it into a crowded box. 61 minutes. Bruno onto Willa Sula, out wide, cuts inside and brings and buries it for his first goal for Newcastle. Cue the celebrations. We were going to be on the pitch. If we were there, we would have been on the pitch, lads, as I put in the chat. But so to take it to 3-1 to Newcastle, an absolutely delight from everyone jumping on them. And but Chris, thoughts on the Sula's goal?
Just a great finish, really, really great finish. As you say, the ball got played from Bruno, and do you know what? Willa Sula still has a lot to do. because he picks it up towards the right wing, I would say, of the pitch. Really direct, goes straight at his defender, a few step overs, looks like he's going to go towards the right, goes on the left, and you're thinking, oh, he's going to hit this with his left foot. Brilliant finish. And do you know what? Somebody in the chat, I'm going to bring it up now, actually, it's probably a good time to. But Etsy says, yeah, not sure whose strike was better, Miley or Asula. I mean, it's an interesting question because Miley's was a pure strike. Will Asula has a lot to do. And do you know what, boys? I'm not even 100% sure if Will Asula's a left footer. I think he's a right footer, isn't he? So for him to bend it in like he did, and like I say, he had a lot to do. For me, Brett, I would say he was Asula. And also I'm adding in as well, a little bit selfishly, you know, it's his first goal for Newcastle United. And it was a great finish. And I'm going to whisper this gently, boys, but it almost had like a bit of Isaac vibes for me. You know, the fact that he picks it up, he's so direct, great footwork, and then he made that finish look incredibly simple. And I know some people will say, you know, it's Bromley we're playing against, you know, the opposition, but he still made that look very, very, very easy, and it really wasn't. It was just a great finish, and he puts a little bit of pace behind it as well, so it just leaves the keeper with no chance, and he puts it right in the corner. Yeah, great finish, and I made up for him because that will give him the world of confidence now. He's made a couple of Newcastle appearances and maybe not had as many minutes or opportunities as he'd hoped for, but he's took the opportunities today with both hands. And you know, when he went off, he had a good round of applause and probably deserved. I thought he led the line really well today. So capped his really good performance off with a great goal. So yeah, I was delighted for him.
Now, Arsenal fans, before you start asking, no, he's not for sale either. Neither is this man, Player of the Month, Alexander Isak, Goal of the Month recipient, Alexander Isak. So yes, both awards. And he's I'm sure he'll have a few more awards before the season is finished. Well, Pete, let's get your thoughts on Asula's goal. You're on mute, Pete.
I don't know why I'm on mute. I didn't even put it on mute. But yeah, it's just a brilliant goal. Absolutely brilliant goal. Yeah, another absolute banger. Two bangers this game. Undeniable goals. And yeah, I really like what I saw from Asula today. Particularly, obviously, when we're in the lead and we were kind of comfortable and really trying to take the game to Bromley in the second half. He was really making some fantastic runs. And that's the kind of player Will Asula is. He picks the ball out wide, likes to come inside and hit the ball cleanly. And when we were looking at Will Asula in the build-up to him signing for the club, you look at the goals he was scoring for Sheffield United, that's the type of goal that he scores. Yeah. He comes in from the wide areas, he likes to cut inside and he'll just whip the ball in. The great thing about it is it's with his weaker foot, and he wouldn't have known it because of how good that strike was. Again, keeper's got no chance. Diving just for the effect. It's a brilliant goal. And fair play to him. Lovely to get his first goal for the club. You could tell what it means. He was kissing the badge. You can tell what it means to play for Newcastle United for him. And I think everyone was so pleased for him to get his first goal for the club. And ultimately, right now, it's a case of can he get more minutes? There's people in the chat tonight that we're saying that can he play more minutes? Well, he's proven now he can put the ball in the net. As part of his development, let's give him some more opportunities. If we're winning or we're chasing the game and we need an extra striker on, let's throw him on the pitch. Let's give him the opportunity to show him what is all about. And you said it, Chris, about the Isak resemblance. This is why I think he's been kept at the club and he wasn't loaned out. He's training day to day with him. By all accounts, they're really good friends and they spend a lot of time together. And you're going to pick up traits and qualities and way to play if you're spending a lot of time with a player like Isak. And Ben Parkinson as well has been reported to be playing a similar game to Isak in the way in which he applies himself. So can only be a good thing for Newcastle United, learning from the best in the world. As simple as that.
Nice. Love it. Let's move on. 65 minutes, Matt Targett had a shot, it was deflected out for a corner. 68 minutes, Targett off Haaland. As I said earlier, Targett had a good game. It's Asula off Sanusi on for his debut. So he goes to left wing. Gordon goes more central. I know later on in the game, Gordon goes out to the left wing again. Sanusi goes on the right. I think it was good. Bruno then playing up front. But cries and chants from the crowd as well. Martin Dubravka, we want you to stay. Echoed here, unloaded as well. So hopefully he's with us here after January as well, by the way. 82 minutes, Miggy off, Tonali on. Bringing on Tonali, 3-1 up. It's just mad. But yeah, that brought us to full time, lads. 3-1, safely into the next round, which and into the hat for the draw, which will be coming up after the Arsenal-Man United game. What's the current score? Is it still 1-1 there?
Still 1-1, mate. Yeah, I think. Where are we? Yeah, we've got 11 minutes left of the second period of extra time.
Don't be surprised if you see a winner in this one. Every time I look down at this game, Man United are in Arsenal's box and they've got 10 men. See, they've just put it wide. Flip it out. I might just put one wide. I tell you what, don't put it past Man U getting a winner before the end. Another absolute horror show for Arsenal in terms of performance today, and I cannot be happier. With that second leg not too far away. Let's keep the
more cheers.
And just to add in there as well, Gabriel Jesus got stretchered off with a really bad knee injury apparently. So with the game only 3 or 4 weeks away now, looks like he might not make that one, depending on how severe it is. So they are literally down to the bare bones. And yeah, the reason why I'm saying this, lads, and people watching is don't be surprised if you hear more Alexander Isak links, because they've now lost another attacker. And so, yeah, Jay Bothroyd banging the drum on him again. We know he's not going anywhere.
He's going nowhere.
That's the only thing. He's not even going anywhere in the summer. I'm putting my fist down on that one. He's staying for another season at least.
Cool. So let's round up the match. And for me, watching or from the 15 minute on watching it, the standouts for me were Miley and Matt Targett really, and then Asula actually as well. It was great for him to get his goal. So they'd be the standouts for me. But Anthony, lads, you want to say as we round off that match and prep for either one of our own draws or the FA Cup 4th round draw?
Yeah. No. I just echo what you said, really, Daz. The big standout for me was Louis Miley, who I thought was excellent. I thought Matt Targett gave a good account of himself. I thought he did no wrong, and I'm hoping that any suitors were watching that game and thinking, you know what, he looks pretty solid, because I think he did. I think he had a solid game. And yeah, just the other one, obviously the obvious one, Will Asula getting that goal, absolutely brilliant. And I suppose you could add into that, Anthony Gordon putting that Everton penalty behind him and scoring emphatically from the spot. I think loads and loads of positives. Great to see Bruno and Tonali getting a few minutes as well. I know in an ideal world we wouldn't have wanted them on the pitch, but there's nothing wrong giving them a few minutes here and there, to get them ready for next week against Wolves. I think Eddie Howe would have liked to have not used them, but then on the other hand, you could argue, as I say, it's just a little run out for them, isn't it? Just to get back used to playing at St James's Park. Feels like we haven't played at St James's Park for ages, just constantly on the road. So no, it was great. Really, really important that we're through now to the next round of the FA Cup. And as the commentator said towards the end of the game, Eddie Howe's Newcastle United are fighting on 3 fronts this season. So it's all good. And what was the phrase he used? It's fantastic to be a Newcastle fan at the moment. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Pete, thoughts on as a summary for the game?
Yeah, I mean, look, it started very rocky. I don't think we started well. I thought we were very lazy, and it looked like we'd almost just got out of bed. Passes weren't great, movement wasn't great, and look, Bromley capitalised and fully deserved to take the lead. Fair play to them. But I think that goal woke us up, and the passing, the movement started to be faster, crisper. We started to test them and really kind of try and get in and behind. Miley was the best player on the pitch for me for the whole game. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And he, for me, has confirmed in my mind that he is now ahead of Sean Longstaff in the pecking order for midfielders. For me, Louis Miley, if we're wanting to make a change to our midfield, Louis Miley would be the first one that I would be actioning, certainly on that right-hand side. If Bruno's coming off or whoever's playing on the right of the front three, midfield three, Louis Miley would be my guy to go to. Technically excellent. He's got a wand of a right foot, but he understands his position. He played the number 6 today, and he was excellent in that. So that then throws up another question about who can play where. I just thought it was brilliant, and I thought he made us tick through that. We started to really try and penetrate Bromley a little bit more. I have to be honest, boys, a little bit disappointed with our wingers, Miggy and Barnes. Although I think Barnes should have been given a little bit more time in the second half. It was ultimately the right decision because Gordon came on, and I thought Gordon was excellent when he came onto the pitch. And that second half, we were by far the better team. We blew them out of the water, and then really kind of saw the game out after that point. It was really much damage limitation, manage fitness, manage injuries, and just see the game out. But look, this is the FA Cup. It throws up surprises. It's never always going to go every way you want it to, particularly against lower opposition, because they have the chance to surprise you. But ultimately, lads and lasses, we've got the win. We're into the round, the 4th round draw, which is all we wanted. That's all we wanted. In cup games, we can analyse the minute details, but ultimately we just wanted to win, and we did.
Nice summary there. You know what, boys? We're going to have a few draws tonight, including our own. So let's get at least one of our draws out of the way. So let's go for the first prize. So let me share screen and go for
in the other game, we've got 4 minutes to go before it's potentially penalties. So we've got time.
Cool. Let's go for a draw. So here's the spinny wheel. Welcome, Loaded Ultras. To get your name in this wheel, you need to click that membership button and become a Loaded Ultra. So there are 114 names in the hat, including our names as well, lads. But if our names come out, we'll spin again. Well, let's go for it. Let's see who the first winner is.
Good luck, people.
Good luck, everyone. I know that name.
Jules. Well
done, Jules.
Congratulations, Jules. On being our first winner of the night. I'm going to remove you, Jules, now from the wheel for the later draws, but and I'll take this off screen as well. But Chris, what has Jules won?
Jules has won £25 gift voucher. Now, this £25 gift voucher can be used on the club shop. It can be used. It can be used on the Loaded merchandise website. Again, shamelessly plugging. Anybody who hasn't been on the Newcastle the Loaded Mag merchandise website, make sure you do. Daz has kindly put it up on screen there. So this is our online store, and there's still 20% off. So you've got £25 there, Jules, potentially to use on there. Some lovely items which Daz is flashing up on screen. So Jules is our first winner of the prize draw today.
Lovely.
Well done, Jules. Well done, Jules.
That's one draw over. Let's go now. We're going to have a few more before the night's out. Chris, let's get a few questions.
Let's get a few questions. Good idea, mate. Okay. Tom Dixon asks, what are your thoughts on the debut of Trevor Sanusi?
He did okay. He had a nice little run at one stage where he broke into the box and bundled over a bit. He did okay. Nothing amazing, but he was his debut first. I'd like to see him get more game time. Hard to judge him just on that. Like I know big things are expected of him. He did play on the left, and he switched out to the right. So yeah, look, he didn't do himself any harm. So okay, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. What about yourself, Pete?
It was good exposure for him. But ultimately, he's not ready for first team football. That was kind of my overriding thought of his performance. But that doesn't mean that you don't put him back in again at a later date, depending on who we get in the cup. We may well have an opportunity to put him back in. But for me, he's fast, he's skillful, he's got trickery, but ultimately he's not really ready to expose to like Premier League football, for example. He's not quite ready for that step up yet. I think his frame needs to get a little bit bigger. Just think he needs to protect the ball a little bit, get the ball away a couple of times. But look, he's a young lad. He's got lots of time to develop and blossom. But I just thought, ultimately, it was good exposure to the first team today more than anything in a fully competitive game.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, boys.
Maybe a loan move.
Yeah.
Would you send him out on loan?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be good exposure for him. I'd like to. No, don't worry, mate. I agree with what you boys have said, and I think you're absolutely right, Daz. I think a low move to Championship, possibly League One. I mean, look at the rise and development we saw from Elliot Anderson when he took that low move to Bristol Rovers. Really came out of his shell, and I think Trevor Sanusi, by the looks of things, just needs regular football. He needs to go out and play regular football. And Pete's right. I don't think he's going to have an immediate impact on this first team at present. So for me, I think I would much rather see him go in January, go and get 5 months of senior professional football, maybe in the lower leagues, and then come back in the summer and see where we are. That's certainly what I would do anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. This next one, comes from Dean Latter, and Dean says Longstaff and Miggy were poor today. I think. What are your thoughts, Pete? I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with what was said. I thought Miggy was really poor today. I think his use of the ball was really poor. Look, you're always going to get running and work rate from him. That's kind of what he is. But ultimately, there was times in the first half where we really wanted to kind of penetrate that backline and really wanted to kind of push and create problems in and behind. And he's just too simple. He hasn't got that killer pass. He was giving the ball away simply, just wasn't keeping the ball very well. So yeah, as an audition, he's not really knocking down any doors to start for Newcastle United right now. And that noise in the back about him potentially getting a mover, I'm not surprised. I think we do need to move him on as quickly as possible. Sean Longstaff, similar reasons, just doesn't do anything that you're looking at Louis Miley, and I hate to do this comparison, but it's so obvious. Louis Miley's technically good. He can find those little intricate passes in and behind. There was a couple of times where he gave the ball away, but he was trying to make that risk pass. He was trying to make that pass that could end up in his potentially scoring a goal. And I love that. I love that in a player. Bruno does the same. Tonali does the same. You want that player that is not afraid to play that pass and to look for that pass. Sean Longstaff just keeps it side to side. That if you're playing against Bromley and you're 3-1 up, he's the type of guy that you want to bring on because he'll just keep it simple. He'll just play it. His stats will probably his stats look great because he never really gives the ball away. It's all really 2-yard passes here and there. Like with all due respect, we're Newcastle United. We're trying to fight for Champions League football right now. We want more than that. We need more than that from our midfielders. And I just think we've almost, as a club in the last 3 years, we've almost outgrown Sean Longstaff. And I kind of get the feeling that he kind of knows it. I think he knows that his time's up at Newcastle United. I don't think they were great at all. Plus against Bromley, so they kind of got away with it. But playing like that, you won't get away with it in the Premier League. You just won't. It's as simple as that. So, not the best auditions for either of them. And I'll throw Harvey Barnes into that. I don't think he was great either. He started to get better as the half went on, but it's still not the kind of audition you want when you're trying to fight to play and be first team in this Newcastle United team. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on it, lads.
Sorry, Daz. Just before I come to you for your thoughts with this, I'm going to add a little extra on here because we've got another question from Clonlad, which is quite similar. So obviously, Dean Latter says Longstaff and Miggy report today. What are your thoughts? But also, Clonlad says, how bad is Longstaff and who on earth would buy him? So that's a little added one for you there.
Well, I'm hoping there's somewhere on earth that would buy both of them. But for me, I thought Miggy was actually better than Longstaff. Longstaff was just so slow in his thinking. Really, when the ball comes to him, like, it's not instant. It's not instantaneous. He knows what to do with it. It seems like he has to think about it. And while he's doing that, like Bromley are on top of him, and then the move kind of breaks down. Miggy did try to win the ball back. I remember at one stage he did do well at that, but again, he's not offering much first. He's not offering what Murphy can offer, and that Murphy has been informed the last while. But I'd sell both of them if we got a decent offer. And like, look, looks more likely that Miggy would be off. We've been trying to sell him for a while, but if someone wants to come and buy Longstaff, like they can get something out of him, but maybe he just needs regular game time, because he does a job sometimes, but today wasn't one of those days.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair, mate. I mean, for me today, looking at Longstaff, looking at Miggy, looking at Targett, it sounds awful. I was just looking at them thinking, can we get any money for these lads? I mean, I wouldn't go as far as what the Clon lad's saying, who on earth would buy me shit, because granted, when you compare him to the other players in the team, he falls below the standards 100%. Louis Miley, Tonali, Bruno, Joe Linton, even Willock, who wasn't playing today, but he is still, I would still say he's a Premier League player. It's just the fact that he's probably mid to lower end of the Premier League. And I think, teams such as, like the likes of Wolves, the likes of Ipswich, Leicester, clubs like that, Sean Longstaff would do reasonably well, I think. And hopefully they agree, and hopefully they'll come in and put a bid in for them. But I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. This one, do you know what? I feel quite strongly about this, and I was a little bit annoyed earlier today. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Chris. I think there's two things happening as well. Pete, I think you're on pen duty. You're watching the pens, eh?
Yeah. So Bruno Fernandes is just about to step up to take the first penalty. I think it's a bit of gamesmanship going on with the Arsenal goalkeeper Ray just kind of taking his time. There's a few seconds until I think they'll take it, because it's they're trying to build it up, I imagine. But that's where we are with that. Ray is
10-0 Man United.
Yeah. Ray is wasting a bit of time as he at the moment. He's Bruno just put the ball down on the spot. I say fake Bruno.
Bet you a score.
Possibly. do we want a Man United win?
I would say so.
Don't know.
I would say so. Win. I just want Arsenal tears. I do.
Yeah,
I feel like goal.
Nice and easy. Just kind of did his little stutter step up and then just rolled it into the far corner. Sent keeper the wrong way. Bruno 1-0.
Jazz, you were going to bring up exactly what I was going to say. So go for it, mate. Go for it.
Exactly. So the comes in from Tom Marston, guitar, and a nice little icon of guitar there as well. Thanks very much for the super chat, Tom. And he says, been enjoying your content for years now, lads. Once met Pete away at Chelsea. Of course, I reminded him to check for his keys. Do you remember that, Pete?
Yeah, I do. It was Louis Miley's debut. That was. It's just gone 1-1, by the way, and Odegaard scored. But I do remember that. Louis Miley's debut and Anthony Gordon's first goal for the club. Remember that. But great to see you, Tom. Great to see you in the chat as well. Great stuff.
You all sync with Miley does well, and so that's a nice one. Well, I think it's time I showed some support for the best tune channel on the planet. Away the lads. Nice one, Tom. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you, Tom. And I want to add in as well, just because this flashed up as well, Daz. I want to say Tom's become a Loaded Ultra.
Yeah,
need to add that in as well. So
nice
Tom. Good man. So he's become a Loaded Ultra. 2-1 Arsenal, Man United.
Yeah, Ahmad just put lovely penalty. Just kind of whipped it into the left hand side. Lovely pen. 2-1 Ahmad. They might be coming through these quite quickly now.
And Pete, keep interrupting us, mate, and keep updating the scores. But this does relate to the FA Cup, so I'll throw it in there. And I was a little bit annoyed by this earlier in the day, I've got to be honest. Tom Dixon says, question for the lads, do you think they should bring back the replays in the FA Cup? For me, absolutely. I was devastated for Tamworth today. Absolutely devastated. They worked the socks off for 90 minutes against Tottenham. And then they go to extra time, and then Tottenham bring on the big guns, and then see them out. And I was so disappointed for Tamworth. Imagine Tamworth going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the second leg. I just think it's so wrong. I think these clubs, everybody should have the opportunity. If you play a Premier League team, have they missed?
Oh, love it. Havertz is missed.
Oh, advantage Man United then.
I tell you what, if anyone caught the penalty that Arsenal got in game where Havertz dived, it was an absolute disgrace that it was given as a penalty. And I think Odegaard missed the penalty. It was a great save by the Man United goalkeeper. It's the Turkish lad. A really good save. I'm so glad that Havertz missed that because he's a diving cheat, and I'll never forgive him for what he did when he played for Chelsea on Dan Burn. Man United have just scored. They're 3-1 up now. So yeah, it's getting a little bit techie for Arsenal. It could be out potentially, fingers crossed, out of both cups in a week if we finish our job. Lovely penalty from not Xerxes, sorry, Leniora. Yeah, lovely penalty. Yeah, played.
And we know how much Arteta's desperate to win something. So you're right, Pete. In the space of between now and the next 3 weeks, he could be out the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Not good.
Absolutely. And we know what their record's like in the Champions League. And it looks like Liverpool are running away with it at this moment in time. So, boys, it's an interesting one. They've just made it 3-2. They've just made it 3-2.
Just while we're waiting as well, I hope no one minds, but I've added Tom Marston into the draw for the next, because we're going to have a few more draws. So he's in the wheel. He's in the wheel. You're in the wheel, Tom.
Yeah, cheers for joining us. There, mate. You're there. Brilliant, Daz. Brilliant.
Good stuff. Yeah.
3 more, in case anyone's wondering, 3 more prize draws coming up throughout the show. So we've had the first one, and if you're not watching Jules, if you're watching back, you were the first winner of a £25 voucher. And please reach out, get in touch with me, and we'll get that sorted out. But we're gonna have 3 more draws, so keep your eyes peeled.
I like this one for Brett. See, are they using the round ball today? No excuses, Arteta.
There must be, because Man United have just gone 4-2 up. 4-2 up, as the Clon lad just put in there. 4-2. Wow. Nice penalty from Martinez. Nice little stutter right into the middle of the goal. Nice it is.
No one wants that, Kendo. A top sign by Bruce and Ashley. No,
not today. Not today.
Definitely not. So yeah, that's it. Man United just need one more penalty, or they need Arsenal to miss one. But I think it's going to be all on this Man U penalty now. 4-3. I think Clonlad just put it in as well.
Who's taken the 5th one for Man U?
Hold on. Can't see it right now. I was about to say, I wonder if it was Rashford, but he's nowhere near the squad right now.
Banana.
Yeah, oh my God, if it was.
Oh, it's Xerxes.
Xerxes, yeah.
Xerxes.
Yeah, there you go. They must be a few seconds ahead of me because I'm watching it on my phone. Yeah, that's it.
Man United, true.
Wow.
We take them in the draw if we had to, no problem. Give us a home 100%, draw.
100%, mate.
Wow.
100%, no problem.
Wow. That's massive.
Chris.
Massive.
It is. The fume on.
So Daz, I'm gonna go to you for this one, Daz. So I touched on it a little bit earlier. But do you think they should bring replays back in the FA Cup? What were your thoughts? I don't know whether you watched the Tamworth Tottenham game. Tamworth gave everything, and then it went to extra time. Tottenham ended up winning. I think it was 2-0 in extra time. But they brought all the big guns on, and I just felt so sorry for them. because if Tamworth, managed to keep hold of a draw, and then they would have had a game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and I just felt so sorry for them. But what are your thoughts on it, Daz?
I like when it's decided on the night, though, to tell you the truth. I know the FA Cup is different, traditional and stuff like that, but like us going forward as well, you imagine we're going to be in European competition. I'm being selfish and saying no, keep it decided on the night.
Is that not our doing though, Daz? If Bromley held us to a 1-1 draw, is that not our doing for putting the tie to bed? Is that not down on the superior or the giant team to kind of make sure that goes through? Because that money to Tamworth going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium would have been huge. It would have been absolutely massive.
That side of it, yeah.
What are your thoughts, Pete?
I see it from two perspectives. From a Premier League perspective, it's obviously an extra game, which a lot of the amount of games that we play now, particularly if you're in Europe and whatever, it's more and more and more games all the time, and it's hard to even schedule them all. So I think it's difficult on the Premier League players. But for me, I think Kieran Maguire tweeted that earlier. Tottenham eventually won the game against Tamworth, but if Tamworth had got a replay, they could have earned up to £1 million. Now, for £1 million for a club like that, absolutely massive. And so from that perspective, I think, there should be replays off the back of it. If a good team, like whether it's Tottenham or Newcastle with us today or whatever, if we can't get the job done, then that's on it. So I do see it from both sides of the perspective. As a fan of Newcastle United, I'd kind of prefer to see it done on the day if we're at home. If we're away, I want the replay because I want to take us back to St James's Park, because then you always kind of, your chances of winning go up significantly. So I'm all over the place with it. But if it betters my team, I'm in.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Yeah. No, it's fair enough, boys. I suppose it's one of those things you can see from both sides, can't you? I just felt so sorry for Tamworth, I really did. Right, so just in anticipation of the cup draw, which should be around the corner, Tom Dixon reminds us that we are ball 23 in the cup draw, so it's worth keeping an eye on that number. But boys, I mean, who are you hoping for in the next round? I mean, I think there's a hell of a lot of teams still left in it.
32 teams.
Yeah, but for me, I just want a home draw. If we manage to get a home draw, I'm happy. Our Callum's just come in and pointed at Everton. I mean, I'll take Everton. I'll take Everton at home. I'm sure he won't want Newcastle away, that's for sure. But any teams you've got your eye on, boys?
Let me see. Who won between Millwall and Dagenham and Redbridge?
I think that might be tomorrow. I could be wrong.
All right. I'll take Dagenham and Redbridge. Who won between Hull City and Doncaster Rovers? I haven't seen any of the other results, by the way.
Doncaster Rovers won, I think, on penalties. Doncaster, I think Doncaster.
I'll take Doncaster.
Yes, Doncaster won on pens. That's right. Yeah. So Tottenham are through. Man United are through. Palace are through. Ipswich are through. Newcastle are through, and it looks like Southampton are going to be through as well. Let me just check that one for you, Daz. Tomorrow, yes, Millwall are playing Dagenham tomorrow.
Okay. Crystal Palace, Stockport. Who won that? Was it Palace?
Palace. Yeah, Palace.
Birmingham City. I'd love to take on Birmingham City just to piss off one of my friends, really.
Birmingham City or Doncaster Rovers at home. That'd be a nice draw.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, home draw, please.
Hey, we can check out that 10 million Birmingham striker. Check him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah. They signed I forget what striker it was, but they signed him for 10 million in League One.
Oh, no, hold on.
Let's have a look. Birmingham. Let me see if I can find his name.
I think I remember.
Jay Stanfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea the name.
Pounds in League One.
Same.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
Go on, Daz. Go on, mate.
Or Wrexham still there? No, I don't see Wrexham are into it. No, those got knocked out.
Wrexham go?
No, so no.
No.
Must have gone, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to pop this one in because it's warming us up for the fully loaded transfer show. So I'll pop it in. I'll pop it in there. Go on, Daz. Pete, sorry.
The draw is about to commence. Bear with me. I'm going to put you on pause. I'm coming out off. I'm coming off screen for a second.
As you can see, this is live, everybody.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll throw this in because I know Pete's listening, so he can hear what I say. But earlier on, Craig Hope tweeted a bit of breaking news. Eddie Howe said after the Bromley game, "I don't expect any major announcements on Martin Dubravka. He's very much part of our future. I'm hoping everything will die down." And then Craig Hope goes on to say that he thinks a new contract is possible. So a little bit of breaking news there on Martin Dubravka. I think the fact that he started today was a big sign, in my opinion, that perhaps he will be staying at Newcastle after all, which I'm not opposed to. I think it's good. I think the fact that we're fighting on three fronts, I think it makes sense. And talking of fighting on three fronts, Daz, Kendo says, despite the recycled selection today, do you think we have enough in the tank to battle on all three fronts?
Yes, I do, because we've only 2 matches left in the League Cup. The second leg and the final when we get there.
Yeah,
hopefully, look, we'll balance the FA Cup with the league. We're not in Europe, so why not? We should be able to manage that.
Why not, Pete? Just before this cup draw starts, do you think Newcastle have got enough in the tank to battle on all three fronts?
Yeah, probably. I think who we get in the draw will be a big factor in that. If we're getting favourable draws at home, I think it helps us. Like Bromley has helped us today, whereas like the likes of Arsenal and Man United have played tougher rounds, tougher games. I think it definitely helps as the balls get put into the draw now. I think Swartz has just gave it a wiggle. Man United drawn first.
Oh,
Man United straight out. We're number 23, guys. I know you mentioned it before.
Yeah.
Oh, number 20. Flipping now. What was this? Leicester City.
Oh. Nope. Premier League tie to start us off.
Yeah. Number 27. Leeds United. Against number 9. Millwall and Dagenham Redbridge.
Oh, be a tasty one, that. That'd be a tasty one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Number 7. Brighton.
Oh, we don't want that.
Don't want a Brighton, man. Don't want a Brighton, lads. Number 13, Chelsea.
Ooh. Nice. Oh, you all know each other anyway.
2 big Premier League games there. Jeez.
Yeah. Number 12, Preston or Charlton. Yeah, take that.
Oh, we'll have that. Come on, 23.
25. Wycombe Wanderers.
Oh, that would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Exeter, number 3. Yeah, we'll take Exeter.
We'll take Exeter, yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. Battle of St. James's. 28. Against Forest. Forest got easy draw.
Another good draw for Forest.
Easy draw.
Yeah.
Number 22. Coventry. But I take Cov. I take Cov.
Yeah.
23. Number 30. Who's that? Ipswich.
Oh.
Number 14. Blackburn. Still some big teams in there, boys.
We have
Liverpool, Tottenham.
We do tend to get Blackburn a lot, don't we?
Number 11. They got Wolves. Still some big teams in there, boys. A little bit worried. What, Mansfield and Wigan? Come on.
Oh, please.
Mansfield and Wigan.
That'd be nice.
That'd be a dream. Number 31, Fulham. Running out of teams, boys. Boys, we're running out of teams. Number 26. Birmingham City. Go on, Birmingham City. Please. 23, Newcastle.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm coming for you, Shano. I'm coming for you.
Yes.
Hey.
Love it, boys. Take that all day long.
We take that.
Very happy. Right, I'll go
that.
through the rest of the draw, lads. Plymouth
Yeah,
Argyle against Liverpool. Plymouth Argyle at home to Liverpool. That's quite a favourable draw. Go on, Man City, Tottenham, or Villa. Everton at home.
Oh,
Everton at home.
please get like a Man City or something.
Bournemouth. Not bad. Yeah, Premier League tie.
Another
Bournemouth.
Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm liking
Bournemouth
these Premier
in
League ties, boys. I'm liking them.
Villa at home.
Tottenham.
Please.
Tottenham.
Number 8 or 17. 8 or 17. 8 or 7. 17 Tottenham. Yes.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
Teams
Some
knocking
Premier
each
League
other out,
ties in
boys.
there, boys. Yeah.
Teams knocking each other out. We like this.
Yeah. Southampton and Swansea. Southampton and Swansea. So I mean, Man City got, unless they get Palace. Palace are the only other Premier League team in there. Southampton, Swansea got Burnley.
Okay. Yeah.
Leighton Orient and Derby.
It will be Southampton because I think they're currently 3-0 up, Pete.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Man City. Man City got Leighton Orient or Derby.
Oh, okay.
Last four. Doncaster at home. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
okay?
no, you're fine, mate. Yeah.
So Doncaster against Crystal Palace. Palace got an away draw. Boys, last two, Stoke and Cardiff. Who's at home? Stoke at home. To finish off, Stoke at home to Cardiff. Boys, that is a nice draw. I'm not
be happy with
lie.
that. Have to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Have to be.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Birmingham City away.
D Lat at this point, who did the Gunners get? Boys, I'm not gonna lie. The race for Europe chat is going off right now.
I say it is.
For lots of different reasons. There's too much to catch up on. I'll catch you boys up on it separately, but yeah, it seems like there's bombs being thrown all over the place in that chat. I've got to lie. I'm not going to lie. It's been going off for a couple of days now. But Billy, just to be clear, Billy is still going on about that Duran red card. He's still going on about it.
Jesus.
I was at the gym yesterday training, and I could hear in my AirPods like, just constantly going off, and I'm looking at it, and like it's Billy going off about his bloody John Duran. So I just put back, it was a red, and then it was marked off. So I just left it. But boys, just as I reroute back to my original position, yep, still on base.
That's Studio One. Repeat.
Yeah, Studio One. I'm working on Studio 2. I think it's going to be a while until Studio 2 is done, but
I think we'll have a new stadium before Studio 2 is done.
I think you might be right, mate. I think you might be right. But boys, what are your thoughts then? Come on, talk to me. Birmingham,
loving that Villa Spurs. Loving that Villa Spurs. That's probably going to get prime time slot on TV for sure. But no, delighted we got Birmingham City, and they're I haven't checked where they are in the league, but I'm sure they're focused on getting promoted back up to the Championship, but from League One. But League One table, let me see where they are. They have to be top. Yeah, they are. They're top. They were ahead by 2 points, and they've played 2 games less. So they are flying it. They are the big spenders, of course, in League One. But we can take them, no problem.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Chris, and on the draw, and
I'm delighted, mate. I mean, not just the fact that we've managed to pull a League One side in the draw. I think that's really, really good news. But also the fact that we've seen so many Premier League draws. You kind of want a nice, easy draw. Yes, it would have been nice to be at home, but I think we should have more than enough. To beat Birmingham at St Andrews. I'm not concerned. And if you offered me a League One tie before the draw was made, I'd obviously snap your hand off for it. So no, I'm delighted. But yeah, I'm looking at those Premier League games. I'm looking. Was it Brighton Chelsea, Pete? Did you say?
Yeah, Brighton Chelsea,
Villa Tottenham, Man United Leicester. They're they're the games you want to see, aren't you? Because you automatically know that you're going to be getting rid of some Premier League opposition, and the more that those teams are whittled down, the bigger your chances are of getting through to the latter stages. So no, I'm absolutely delighted. Particularly funny, Daz, that we were talking about. You saying that you wanted Birmingham, and then obviously we ended up pulling them. So no, I think it's a really good draw, and Newcastle have got to be happy with that.
Yeah, and Tom said the ties have been played. We said there earlier around the 7th or 10th of February. So like we've got our League Cup second leg in February as well. So
the week
before. So interesting. Yeah. The double, as Pete Graves says, the double is still on, lads. As I look at Deji talks about the treble, but the double is still on. Yeah. But let's see. That's kind of one game at a time.
It absolutely is, mate.
Boys, before we soon switch into a fully loaded transfer show, we get another draw out of the way. We're liking these draws. We get another loaded ultra draw in.
Yeah, let's get it in, mate. So this for anyone who's only just tuned in, this is for the £25 gift voucher. The first draw was made earlier, and that was Jules. So congratulations to Jules. This new one now is for the £25 gift voucher, and fingers crossed for everybody, and good luck.
So there's 114 in it again because we are added Tom into the mix after becoming a member there earlier. So here we go.
Good luck, people.
Good luck. 9 goals. Congratulations, 9 goals. Oh, 9. That's 9. Yes. Now it makes sense. I was going to say, how are we going to track down 9 goals? But that's pretty 9. He was in the chat earlier, I think. So
yeah.
Congratulations, 9.
Good man. Brilliant.
So
brilliant news.
We'll remove you from the draw because there's more draws coming up later.
Fantastic.
Boys, is now the time to switch over to fully loaded transfer show?
Whenever you're ready. I might need some more space to put a couple of things, clips in.
Yeah, let's switch to the other tab, Pete, because that would probably make more sense.
I'll put some of the bits already in the original tab.
Okay, cool.
I might need some more.
Yeah, I'll delete some, Pete, because we're done with some of the FA Cup stuff. So let's do that, and we switch over screens. But boom.
Just before we move over, I've just been. I was thinking it'd be great if we had some music, to switch over for all the people listen orderly, if that's a word. I thought we could do some music, and then I've just looked here. What's this? I didn't know we had this.
That's for Mike when he's back on again. That's for Mike because he calls Gordon. He calls him Pat Sharp, doesn't he? So we have to have it ready for the next time.
That is
time for fully loaded transfer show.
You watch us get clipped for this.
Let's keep this on. I forgot I had to press a button to take it off. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. That is absolute class.
I added that months ago. Yes, forgot about that.
Oh, mate, I've never seen it before. Brilliant. Love it.
That is the fun house. Just before we do switch over, I'll just read you out some of the draws again because they're here. So Birmingham City against Newcastle United, as we know, brilliant draw for us. Plymouth Argyle at home to Liverpool, Everton at home to Bournemouth, Villa at home to Tottenham. Southampton, I think it's Southampton. I think you boys said it 3-0 up. At home to Burnley, Leyton Orient or Derby at home to Man City, Doncaster Rovers at home to Palace, Stoke at home to Cardiff, and there's a few more that haven't gone through yet. But there's a few other draws, a few other simple draws. You've got Brighton and Chelsea within that. I'm really happy with that draw, lads. Not just who we've got, but the fact that actually a lot of teams competitive teams in the Premier League are playing each other or playing a Premier League side. So we could potentially, fingers crossed, be another fifth round special. Let's see. Let's see. But Chris, you've already kind of touched on it already. So we'll touch on it now because the big talking point right now is Martin Dubravka going to go go to Al Shabaab in Saudi, or is he going to stay? It's really clear that Eddie Howe wants him to stay. We know from Craig Hope that there's going to be talks to try and persuade him to stay. However, Eddie Howe said after the game, you touched on it, Chris, as I was just switching over, exactly this. Eddie Howe said he's hopeful Martin Dubravka will stay and even potentially sign a new contract to stay at the club beyond the summer. I'm hopeful everything will die down and that he's part of our future. We hope he may agree a new contract to stay. Now, look, I want to get your thoughts on this, boys, in this situation. Of course, we've given our assessment of his performance today, but you know, what is your mindset now, and what people's in the chat? What is your mindset now around Martin Dubravka? You know, are you wanting him to stay? You wanting him to go? There has been some kind of to and fro on what is true and what's not. We had another Fulham transfer show earlier on in the week, and Jacobs confirmed that there was a potential of up to 6 million within this fee. We've had conflicting reports saying, lads, that it could be he could have been going to Al Shabaab on a free. I don't know where we are with this. We don't really know what to believe. But where are you at, boys, with this situation? And as well on that addition that Eddie Howe wants him to sign a contract beyond the summer. I think that's an interesting talking point there. But Chris, your thoughts?
See, it's quite cut and dry for me. I mean, I didn't want Martin Dubravka to leave this transfer window as soon as I heard that he was potentially going for free. I think that is just insanity. I think Martin Dubravka needs to stay at Newcastle United, particularly if we weren't going to get any money for him. I was one of the people who believed that, you know, if the rumours of 6.4 million were believed to be true, I think it was probably an opportunity we couldn't turn down, in terms of the fact that, you know, yes, his form has been absolutely great, but 6.4 million is a lot of money in terms of PSR. And I think if it helps bring in other players, I think we'd be narrow-minded to turn that down. However, if there is no fee, it was a no-brainer to keep Martin Dubravka. The thing that I find quite questionable, and I don't know, obviously, Daz, you give your opinion, and I know Pete, you will. I would stop short of offering Martin Dubravka a new contract. And the reason I say that is because, yes, it would probably only be a 1 or 2 year deal, but Eddie Howe, in my opinion, can't guarantee Martin Dubravka to be the Newcastle #1 next season. I just don't think he can, because it's a position we need to upgrade on. And is Martin Dubravka going to be happy to stay at Newcastle United, probably on similar, if not arguably slightly lesser terms than what he's on now, and be the number 2 at Newcastle United going forwards, or go to Saudi, go to the MLS, which is another avenue that apparently is being explored, and get sufficiently higher wages and be the number 1 at whatever club he joins. So I don't see Martin Dubravka signing a new contract, and if he does, I'll be honest, it worries me a little bit, because that would signify to me that we're not going to be bringing in the number 1 in the summer, because I just doubt Martin Dubravka would want to stay at Newcastle United as number 2. I think it would mean that he's going to stay at Newcastle United and fight for that number 1 spot with Nick Pope. And for me, I want to see a new number 1 come in, whether it's this window or next window in the summer, because I think that we need to upgrade. We need to upgrade our number 1. I'm quite happy for Martin Dubravka to stay as number 1 for the rest of the season. Now, I'm more than happy with him, given his recent performances. Obviously, we won't think about the save that he could have made today, but I just think that he allows us to play in the way that we want to play, and I think he breeds a lot more confidence in the defenders than what Nick Pope does. But if he signs a new contract, that screams to me that we're not going to be bringing in the number one anytime soon, and I think that we desperately need one. So interesting to see what happens. But if we're not getting any money for Martin Dubravka this window, we need to keep hold of them. That's the be all end all for me.
What's your thoughts? Where are you sitting with this with Martin Dubravka? People in the chat, get your thoughts in as well, because obviously this is moving day by day. We're moving into now a midweek double whammy. Wolves on Wednesday, Bournemouth Saturday. We need to know who's going to be our number one. Where are you sitting with this, mate?
Well, I'm going to answer that. First of all, I want to say 9 goals is not 9. That's a bit of news for us. So congratulations to 9 goals, and contact us 9 goals, and we will sort out that prize to you. But sorry, to answer your question then, Pete, for me, Dubravka stays. Dubravka stays put. His contract is until the summer. I know they probably had some kind of agreement that they were going to let him go, but that changes now because he's playing really well. And no, I don't think he gets a new contract. I think let them have the agreement that he can go in the summer, and even if it's some extra bonus or something he gets for staying on, just to sweeten the deal, kind of thing, to because they may have had verbally agreed something with him already. Do whatever it takes. Like there was no, I don't think anyway, there was any waving at the end of the game today. So I think his head is in the right spot. He will stick it out, and he's our number one going into at the moment. Even when Pope's back, I'll keep him at number one for now. Pope can dislodge him as well, though, but because he plays out with his feet. But if he was going to go in some fashion, we have to bring in the keeper, because I don't want to be just Nick Pope and his dodgy potential to go get injured again. It's too much of a gamble. But I think he's going to stay, and I'm happy for him to stay for the rest of the season. But then we definitely need a new keeper this summer.
What about you, Pete?
Yeah, where I'm standing on this Martin Dubravka situation, like I've got two opinions here. If we are getting money for him, if that's the case, as Ben Jacobs mentioned to us on Monday, if we're getting money for him and we let him go, we have to get a new goalkeeper in. We have to. It is absolutely imperative that we get a new goalkeeper in. If we're not getting money in for him, he stays. He stays. He sees the season out. No new contract. He has to move forward, because it's very clear, lads, that from what's been put out there, and even from what Eddie Howe's saying, that Martin Dubravka wants to leave. Like, let's not beat around the bush here. Martin Dubravka does actually want to leave. He wants to leave Newcastle United for the reasons that you've mentioned, as and Chris, you mentioned it as well. He wants to be number one. He wants to be playing every week, but equally, he wants to get a huge pay packet, which is what he's going to get in Saudi. He's got to think about his career. He's going to be, I think, at the end of this month or February, he's going to be 36. So he obviously wants to leave, but we have to make sure it's right for us. So if we're not getting any money for him, he stays and sees his contract out. And that's, I think, what we need to do. And we as a club have our right to say, we're not going to accept that move. That move will still be there for him in the summer, and he can go on a free, and fair enough. And we're losing out effectively because we're not getting a fee for him, and we could potentially be doing that. But ultimately, the move will still be there for him. He's just got to wait. We cannot afford to mess things up for ourselves by having this Dubravka situation ramble on. It needs to be cut and dry, done now. He's either gone and we replace, or he stays, and that's the end of it. It needs to be done very, 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 very quickly, because we can't have this hanging over his head, because the goal that was conceded today, that will start to creep into his game if his mind's not completely clear on what it is that he's doing and what his future is. So it really needs to be sorted ASAP. So that's kind of where I am. If we're getting money for him and he leaves, fine, we get a replacement. If we're not getting any money for him, we don't entertain him leaving this month. We cannot afford to do that. Because for me, if we're not getting any money for him, then for me, I don't think we're going to be getting a replacement in, and we need a top quality goalkeeper to be at least pushing Pope, if not ahead of Pope, for the rest of this season. We've seen what a goalkeeper with good distribution is like, and what it makes to this team, and how it improves us. We need to continue that, boys. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
We have an accountant in the chat as well, because Foxy has increased the valuation, because he said 6.4 million. Now he's upping it to 6.55 million. Thanks for that, Foxy.
If we're getting it, Foxy, then I'll take it. I'll take it, and we invest that into a new goalkeeper. Absolutely. But if it's not the case and he's going for free, then yeah, I'm not accepting him leaving the club.
No. Pete, so, just while we're on this subject, and I thought it would be good, because we can whiz through a couple of questions, and they are in relation to what we're talking about. The Clon lads, I just want to say a big shout out to the Clon lad, because he's been a member for 14 months. So thank you very much, mate. Nice. He says Vlachodimos dropped for looking like Stevie Wonder. I think that's in reference to Vlachodimos turning up with his aviators on, looking fantastic. But no, I just wanted to add these in, because Sutty79 said, in addition, how much do you think we could get for the Greek goalkeeper? I think he's meaning Vlachodimos. And would it be more than Dubravka? And then following on from that, Lee Jones says, with the Greek lad not playing, where does that leave him and Eddie's plans going forward? So just while we're talking about Dubravka and goalkeepers and needing a new one, like, I've got to be honest, boys, I'm not hopeful that we're going to get much for Vlachodimos. But do you think Eddie Howe and the coaching team will be looking to maybe move Vlachodimos on this window, if not the summer? And if so, will it be a loan? Do you think we can get rid of him permanently? Obviously, we know that he was part of a £20 million deal with Nottingham Forest, which was kind of involved in the Elliot Anderson exchange. But how much realistically do you think we could get for Vlachodimos?
Really don't know. I really don't know. It's fairly obvious now that Eddie does not rate him at all. I think that he played one game. I remember him seeing him play once, and he didn't do too bad when he did play. But behind the scenes, Eddie's having none of it. Maybe because if he's going to sit there as well, and we don't get an offer from him, his value is going to keep decreasing. And he's also an international keeper, so he probably needs a loan then, and get some kind of a fee for it, at least kind of recoup something.
I think we'll be lucky to get anywhere between 8 and 10 million for him, because that's his actual true value. That's actually his true
half
value.
it.
I think we'd be, I said we'd be lucky to get anywhere between 8 and 10. Not that's what I think we'd get. Just purely because he is the Greek international goalkeeper. There will be teams that will want a goalkeeper with a certain level of international experience and will probably pay for him. Whether we get that or not is a different thing. I think 5 to 8 million is probably more realistic target. But no, the reality is that I think Eddie Howe would have had him gone by now if he could. But I think it would raise question marks if we moved him on. There's already question marks about the player that Villa are getting rid of. Is it Philogene, who they signed in the summer from Hull for 13 million and now selling him to Ipswich, or sold him to Ipswich for 21 million, 22 million. That one's properly questionable. I think it was a buyback. Actually from Hull. It was. And then we've sold him on. But like, because we've done it in a PSR lastminute.com, I think there'd be more eyes on us if we did that, if we just moved him on right now. And look, let's be honest, no one's going to pay us anywhere near 20 million for him. So we're making a loss, whatever it is. But if we were to get 8 million for him, I think Newcastle United would snap their hand off and go, where do we need to drive him and where do we need to drop him off? I think that's just a reality. But it's not going to happen in this window. I just don't think it is.
Boys,
it's a loan maximum.
Just checking it. There's only 72 likes. What's going on?
We've got 200 people in the chat. Come on, people. Dad, set the target. Come on, set the target. Set the target.
Fourth on FA Cup. in away tie against Birmingham City. The double is still on. I want 250 likes. 250 is the target.
Oh,
Do it. Do it now.
do it now.
He's demanded it. Make it happen, people. 250 likes. There we go. Another one that we're aware of, boys. It's already happened. Isaac Hayden has gone to Portsmouth on loan for the remainder of the season. Lads, he's still contracted to 2026, so he will still come back, and he's got a last year next season with us. When is this? Look, seems like a lovely guy. He's well liked at Newcastle United for being just a genuinely nice person, but we need to move this guy on, surely. Do you see a bit of a Ryan Fraser cancel contract and let him move on in the summer?
I suppose it depends how he performs for Portsmouth. You know, you would hope that maybe Portsmouth. I think Portsmouth are languishing near the bottom of the league at the moment. So I don't think there's a promotion drive on the go at any point. But who knows? You know, if we can stay in the league clause, maybe.
Yeah,
who knows? And do you know what? I think even if it sounds mad, boys. Even if we were to get like 500,000 for them, we don't even have to, demand like 4 or 5 million. Just get 500,000 and get his wages off the wage bill. The difficulty we've got, as we saw with Jeff Hendrick, as we saw with loads of other players in the past, is that we've kind of given them a very healthy contract, and the players, which is well within their rights, are trying to see out that contract, and they want to hang on to it. And this is why we keep loaning them out, because say they're on 40 grand a week at Newcastle, the likes of Portsmouth and other clubs will go, oh, we'll have him, but we'll pay him 10 grand a week. And in which case we're having to make up the shortfall of like 30 grand a week. So this is why we're struggling to get rid of them. And it's whether or not we want to, pay that money out in one big lump sum and kind of have the golden handshake and be done with them. But then at the same time, you don't really want to be, forking out millions of pounds to get people out of the club. So you try and cut that wage bill short a little bit by loaning them out. But unfortunately, I think Isaac Hayden is one of those players. As I say, we've had loads of players like that in the past. And when we're wanting to build and free up wages going forward, it's difficult. It's difficult to do that because historically, under Mike Ashley, it was a case of buy a new player or just give the player that you've got at the moment a longer contract, and then it means you haven't got to buy anyone. But we're now feeling the effects of that because these players are on, as I say, 40, 50 grand a week, and they're thinking, I'm not going to get that in League One. I'm not going to get it in the Championship. So I'll quite happily see my contract out with Newcastle, and then I'll leave. And this is the problem that we've got. But I think Isaac Hayden is one of the OGs. He's one of the originals. So
is he the last great big hanger on? Like that was going to word. Is he the last one? Yeah. Would you throw Gillespie into that, or does it matter because he's on such a low wage?
Yeah.
Like Isaac Hayden is he the last great big hanger on to the previous regime? Because he's not really played any football, has he, for us?
Yeah, the last parting gift from the Mike Ashley era. You could have thought that Jacob Murphy would be one of those as well, because he was on a massive contract, but he's contributing now, of course. But yeah, no, look, I remember going toe-to-toe with Malcolm McDonald, and when we first started in YouTube, I was defending Hayden. Back then, he was decent, but he's just so many injuries that have all caught up with him. And it's just been so unfortunate for the lad. Yeah, I do like him, but it's one thing after the other. Yeah, I think it's time to call him in the summer. Then he has to be gone, I'm afraid. Let him loose.
Let him loose, absolutely. The last great hanger on is Isaac Hayden. And look, with PSR the way it is, we need all those wages. We need as much of those wages as possible to help us out. So if he's on 40, 50 grand a week, makes a massive difference. It's different with Martin Dubravka because he's actually contributing. He's playing for us. Like you said, as Murphy as well. Jamal Lewis, yeah. Jamal Lewis still contract. Does that runs out in the summer though?
I hope so.
God, I hope so.
Yeah. I think we all hope so. Let's have a quick check.
Unless Liverpool come in and offer us the 15 million. Yes.
that we should have got. This summer, 30th of June 2025, his contract is done. So we've only got 6 months to wait for that. We'll have probably about 100.
At least he did try, though. Sorry, but he did try. He went to Brazil to try and make a name for himself, and it was a bit of a change of scenery for him too. So, but just injury again caught up with him.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. But you're getting 100 grand worth of wages back to play around with, just in Jamal Lewis and Martin Dubravka in the summer. With those contracts naturally falling out, so there's positives there. I hate to think what Vlachodimos is on. He must have had Newcastle up over a barrel to get that contract, whatever he's on. I don't know, and I don't want to.
His agent, because they've been backed into a corner. I agree, Pete. His agent will have gone, 50 grand a week. And at the time, Newcastle couldn't really argue, could they? Because they just needed to get them through the doors to get the deal done.
Absolutely. Just mentioned Targett is apparently on 100 grand a week as well. And speaking of Targett, there is interest in him. From the Foss Hub, who report on Leicester, Alex Nixon, journalist, has reported that Leicester and Brentford, interestingly, they've got Rico Lewis out. Still not back from his ACL. It's been over a year now. They're looking to sign Matt Targett from us. And boys, I have to say, I was actually quite impressed with Matt Targett today. I actually thought he had a really good game. He started a bit slow, a bit sluggish. I actually thought he was really, really good. And could that game potentially alert suitors into maybe putting in an offer for him, because he played well, overlapped well, got involved in the game, had moments, won the penalty as well. What are you thinking about that, Chris?
I completely agree, mate. When the commentator said, and I had to like take a step back and think, but the commentator said I think it was his first start since November 23. So it shows how long he's been out for. But he came back in the team, and I saw moments of like quality with him on the ball. I know, again, we appreciate the opposition was Bromley, but there was a lot of players out there who weren't as composed and did as well, I wouldn't say, as Matty Targett. And I think anybody needing an emergency left back in, or someone to kind of come in and fill a gap. We saw in recent years, didn't we? Reguilon, who I think he took a loan move to Brentford, and he took a loan move to Man United. Matty Targett, to me, Matty Targett looks more than solid, and I'd say he looked more composed and assured than the likes of Reguilon. So the fact that Leicester and Brentford are looking at him doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because again, he falls into that Sean Longstaff category of, I think he's a Premier League player. I just don't think he's a top 6 Premier League player, and that's kind of where I'm at with Matty Targett. The difficulty we'll have, as we've just been discussing, is the fact that it's whether or not any of those clubs are willing to hand Matty Targett 100 grand a week. It's probably not, but who knows? And even if we were to get him a loan deal with the promise of a permanent transfer in the summer, like an obligation, or if he plays so many games and stuff like that, there's no reason why not. But I like Matty Targett, and I think he's a good, honest pro. I just think that unfortunately we've got players who are better in front of him. We know Lewis Hall's going to be the future. We've got Dan Burn who can play left back. We know Tino and Trippier can both play left back if needed. Lloyd Kelly can play left back. So we can't have a 6th choice left back. it's just ridiculous. That's what I mean. We can't carry, unfortunately, players like Matty Targett in this PSR world. If there was no PSR, I reckon Eddie, I'll be quite happy to keep him in the squad. I don't think there'd be an issue, because I think he's a good player. It's just the fact that when money's tight and there's only so many spaces up for grabs, and you've got to be careful of your wage bill. You've got to be careful of, wanting to bring players in. Therefore, you've got to let players go. Unfortunately, Matty Targett is on that list because he's expendable. But that's not to say he's not a good player. It really isn't. And, Aaron Kayfier, I'd still sell Matt Targett more than enough for Leicester Brentford. He is. Totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree.
For me, if the PSR didn't really exist, I don't know would we remember Matt Targett's name. tell you the truth, Chris, because he would have been gone a long time ago. But no, we said it on this show, actually. This show here, that our reaction show, a part of the show area, that he did really well, and he did put himself in the shop window, and I was licking my lips at how good he was looked today against Bromley. But it's be a decent pickup for someone, and even if it was a loan to buy kind of thing agreement, well, why not?
I just want to bring this comment up here from the Bearded Toon fan. Matt Targett was shocked, guys. Oh, I'm assuming he means shit. Please, did you watch the game? I thought he was horrendous. Sean Longstaff, terrible. I cannot have to grab to that goal, first goal. Yeah, do you know what? For me, the Bearded Toon fan, I thought Matt Targett played all right. And again, like I said earlier, given the opposition, yes, it is only Bromley, but I saw worse performances out there than Matt Targett. I really did. And like I say, the fact that all these clubs are being linked with him, I think that tells you what you need to know. I mean, Pete, who were the two clubs that were linked with him last week? There was other clubs from abroad linked with Matty Targett, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was Anderlecht. There was one club was Anderlecht.
Real Madrid.
Was it? No, it wasn't Leverkusen, was it?
No, one was Anderlecht, and I think there might have been a German club, and I can't think who it was.
Yeah.
I think it was
Hoffenheim. Frankfurt. No, it was Frankfurt. Yeah, it was Frankfurt.
And Anderlecht were linked with.
They'll be getting a bit of cash soon.
Well, this is the thing. We signed him for 13 million. For me, first and foremost, what was said. Who was it that said it? The Bearded Toon fan. Personally, I thought he had a good game. I don't think he started well. I thought it was quite sloppy and lazy, but I thought he really opened up into the game. I thought I liked his overlapping runs. He was very attack-minded. His crossing had a little bit of work. It needed to be worked on, but he opened up the space time and time again. I thought he defended pretty well after that shaky start. So, considering he's not played a lot of football, I don't think he had a bad game, opposition aside. But look, for me, I'm glad he had a decent game because, like we've just talked about, now teams are probably going to be teams that were probably looking at him, and don't be surprised. It was on TV today that scouts of these clubs that are linked with him are probably watching him and maybe going, okay, we've got something to work with there. And look, if it means that a couple of bids come in for him or interest hots up in Matt Targett, I'm all for it, absolutely, because we need to move players like this on. If he's on huge wages for one, if we've got potential to get a fee for him, even better. Look, I have no idea what type of fee we'd get for him, considering we pay 13 for him. Well, how old is he? 28, I think he is now. 28 years old, something like that. What would you think is a realistic fee for someone like Matt Targett? He had a lot of injuries, but he's been back fit and training now for quite a while, and obviously played today.
It's more the wages than anything else. We need to free up that wage budget that's killing us and will kill us this January and into the summer as well. I don't know, fee wise, 7 million.
7 million
seems okay to me. What are you going 14, lads?
I was about to say, Chris, are we doubling it? What are we doing here?
That's what we normally do, isn't it? No, I think, and I've quoted this range before. I think anywhere between 5 and 8 million for Matty Targett is reasonable. I don't think we'll get double figures. I don't think it'll be 10 plus. I'd like 10 plus. I just don't think it will be. I think between 5 and 8 million. And who knows, boys? As we've seen in the past, it could be that the fee rises a little bit, but that's because we've had to pay Matty Targett, the shortfall of Matty Targett's wages. Because let's be honest, there's a distinct possibility, isn't there, that let's say we get 7 million for Matty Targett, as Daz has said. We may have to pay a couple of million in order to make up the shortfall of his wages that he will lose out on if he joins a Brentford or a Leicester because he's not going to get those. He's not going to get 100 grand a week at those clubs. Maybe you get 50, 60 grand a week, and then we'd have to make up the shortfall, which would mean that obviously we don't get the maximum 7 million, but it gets his wages off the wage bill. And who knows, if Newcastle say to him, well, you take this move, 60 grand a week, 4 or 5 year deal, I will give you 2 million to kind of to make up for the wages that you've lost. That to me is a pretty reasonable deal.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We get that money. get that money in, get him off the wage bill. Happy days. It strengthens our position.
Was that the team?
That wasn't the team. It was Anderlecht and
Frankfurt.
So if Besiktas are in, hey, come along. Come
to the party.
That's the Clonlad says. Target bidding. Let's get it going.
Yeah, hey,
come on down. The price is right.
The market is open, people. The shop is open. Come and feast your eyes. We have Miguel Almirón over here. We have Matt Targett over here. We have Sean Longstaff over here.
It's wacky. It's fun. It's crazy.
I want to.
It's the fun house, people. Come on in.
We need to play that every game. We do. Every show we should play that. We need to.
Except when Mike from Unholy Trilogy comes on, because he calls Gordon Pat Sharp. That's why I put it on.
We could round them up though if we beat them 3-0 last game of the season. Send them down. The music on.
To send them down as well.
Yeah.
To send them down. Love it. Back to the funhouse, people. Journalist Konstantinos reported a few bits about Miguel Almirón. Mentioned that there's an impression that his family prefers a move closer to home, but money could change the situation. The Newcastle ace is definitely available for transfer. The likes of Olympiacos, FC Charlotte, Santos, and Botafogo, Palmeiras, and Sao Paulo are all linked with Miguel Almirón. But I think he wants to move closer to South America, either in the MLS or South America in itself. And as we've just said, come on in, people.
Yes.
Is it? Yeah.
He was outstanding.
Foxy, he was sensational today. Go and tell your friends, tell everybody on the South American perspective. But honestly, boys, just while we're talking on Miguel Almirón, there is clear interest in him. The teams are interested in signing him this month. What did you make of his performance today? And is it time? Is it time to go? Does he have to leave, in your opinion, this month?
Yeah. For me, this is 12 months overdue, maybe even 18 months overdue. I think when he had that fantastic season in the Champions League qualification season, I felt like that was the moment to cash in on him. Obviously, we kept hold of him, played in the Champions League last season, and really we should have sold him midway through. We should have sold him in the January. Then we had the summer just gone where we should have sold him, and now it's at the point where it's like he just needs to go. He really does. Unfortunately for Miggy, I just feel like I'm going to pinch a phrase you used earlier, Pete. I just feel like we've moved on. We've moved on from Miggy. I just think the levels have gone up. And unfortunately, I don't think that Miggy's able to kind of reach those levels. And the levels we're talking about now, boys, fighting consistently in that top six. And I don't think Miggy is a top six player. Unfortunately, certainly over a sustainable period. Yes, he can do top six things. He can produce a moment of magic. He can, bend the ball in with his left foot from now and again. But we need week in, week out performances, and I just don't think he's capable of doing that. So I think we thank him for his time, we move him on, and we bring someone in who can produce that consistently week in, week out.
Yeah, definitely. That's you make me laugh. Miggy.
Along with Dubs, we're not leaving. We're not leaving.
Miguel Almirón, is he leaving, in your opinion? And do you want him to leave? Where are your thoughts on that? And from what you saw in the game, are you of a similar mindset to me and Chris that he didn't play well today?
For the last 3 years, I've been talking about Miggy leaving well before his purple patch. In fairness, but no, I thought he did okay today. He's tracking back and he winning the ball back first. But his time is well up with this. He should have gone last January, I think it was. I'm really surprised that he's still here. I'm thinking about starting to GoFundMe for these MLS clubs. Just get some cash together and give him what he wants to, or lower your demands, Miggy, as well. You're not going to get the same wages in MLS. If that's where you want to go to, you have to lower your demands. If you want the big bucks, you should have gone to Saudi. So you can't have your cake and eat it. And you're not going to get game time in Newcastle. We have to be, what's the word? Ruthless. And we're well overdue being ruthless with me, you know. Just don't turn up with a smile and think you can just write it out. It's time. It's time to move on, Miggy, I'm afraid.
Absolutely. It is time. Seeing that performance today, lads, just confirmed it from what you two said, is that we just need to move on. It's as simple as that. Won't go into it again. We said it earlier on in the show. If people have missed what we said earlier on in the show, go watch it back. We did react to the Bromley win today, as well as the FA Cup draw. We've had a triple whammy today, with three big topics covered all in one show. And
it was a fun house, Pete.
It really was the fun house. I was thinking whether you're going to play it again or not, but
no.
We'll move on. This one's interesting, boys. I bring it up to you because it was tweeted out by Adam Hall. That's how I first kind of saw it, and then other German accounts touched on it. So Adam Hall, a fellow Newcastle fan like us, saw this in Bild, a German report saying rumours in Sport Bild that Newcastle will be joining Villa in the race for Malen of Dortmund. Reports say that Newcastle are first option, but will turn to Malen if they can't get the deal done. Now, there was a BVB newsflash also reported on it, saying that there was interest. However, Malen is only seen as an alternative for Newcastle if they can't get their first target. Now, that's really interesting. I want to get your thoughts on Malen, on whether he would be the type of player that you would go for. I know Villa have been linked. I think had a bid rejected. Have been negotiating for a period of time about a higher bid. I think they wanted, just to give some context, Villa wanted a deal at around 18 million. Dortmund want a fee of around 30 for him. And I think they're trying to renegotiate a potential deal here. There was rumours the other day that Villa had walked away. I'm not sure if that's quite the case, but interesting thoughts on Malen. But in even more interestingly, that they would only go for Malen, Newcastle United, if they don't get their first target. What do you make of that, Chris, from what's been reported?
I mean, yeah, because when I first read the article or the thing that you popped up there, Pete, you know, when it said about first option, I was thinking, first option? Why have we got first option on him? But I think it was just the way it was worded. So it's what it was basically referring to was the fact that Newcastle have a first option, as in somebody else. But if we don't get that option, we then go to Donyell Malen. In terms of Donyell Malen himself, obviously, I haven't seen that much of him. You know, and I know that he's done well in the Bundesliga with Dortmund, and I actually, in my limited knowledge of Donyell Malen, and I'm getting this from FIFA and when I've seen him play occasionally, I actually think he's the opposite to Isak in that I say the opposite, not the complete opposite, but he plays through the middle, but he can play on the right. Whereas obviously with Isak, we know he plays through the middle, but Isak can play on the left. So I think he's the type of player that would certainly be useful for Newcastle because he can play on that right wing position. And we have said, haven't we? We'd love to bring a hybrid player in, somebody who can play, who's equally adept up front as well as the wing. But I kind of feel like we would have already made the move if we were really interested in him. I'm excited to see who the first choice is or the first option. I am excited to see who that is, but I just wonder whether he's someone that we go for. I don't know. But from what I've seen of him, as I say, he's impressed me. You know, he's quick, he's technically good, he's good on the ball. So I think he would be someone that, you know, would be useful to Newcastle United, and he's a good finisher. You know, he can score goals, and we've seen that in his career. But I just don't know. I don't know whether I'm just looking now really for, you know, an out and out winger. Yes, it would be nice to have someone who can play through the middle, but, you know, we've got Will Asula as well. I'm sure we'll get on to Callum Wilson shortly, but, you know, we've got options there. And I just feel like maybe I'm looking for a more out and out right winger now. And I don't think Malen is that. I don't think he's an out and out winger. As I say, to me, I think predominantly he plays through the middle, but can play on the right. And I'm not sure that's what we need. I feel like we need a really tricky, pacey winger, someone who's, fantastic at cross and can cut in on his left, shoot. That's the kind of winger that I'm looking for. But I'm not downplaying Donyell Malen, because, as I say, he's a very, very good player. I just don't know whether he's the right fit. And I suppose the tempting thing is, if they're talking 30 million euros or 30 million pounds, whichever one it is, it's not an astronomical price for someone of his experience, both internationally and domestically. But I don't know. I think, to be honest, Pete, I think you've already sold me on Yohan Bakayoko. He's the one I really, really want. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, and I think it'd be a good signing for Newcastle if we got him. But I just don't. He's the type of link I just don't think we'll get. I don't know why. I just don't think we'll get him.
Guys, your thoughts on Malen?
So
go on.
Yeah. So as I put in our chat, I was pleasantly surprised to hear that Malen is not Ian Maddison, who was signed by Villa. So I was like, is he not already at Villa? Was my first thought. But of course, they're two different players, and I got them mixed up. But he's not doing great either, is he? But I did. I remember watching Malen in the Champions League run that we were in that season we're in, but he did all right then. He did catch the eye a bit, but I did watch him there the other day, Leverkusen against Dortmund, and he came on as a sub. He did nothing. He's only coming on as a sub, so hard to impose himself on the game. But I am Malen out. I'm not Malen in, or Matson in, or Matson out. But I'm Malen out. I don't think he's what we're looking for, to tell you the truth. I'm glad he's not our number one choice.
I would agree with you. He hasn't played well this season. I think he's only made like 6 starts, scored 3 goals, but he hasn't really played well this season at all. And you know what worries me, boys, about someone like Malen is that if Dortmund are trying to move you on, which it looks like they're actively trying to do, that raises question marks to me. Because normally, if you're buying a player off Dortmund, it's through gritted teeth. Normally, you're buying a player because you're prizing them away. You're not buying a player from Dortmund because they want to let him go. Because the thing for me is, like, you look at the Mikel Merino situation when he came to us, Dortmund didn't want him to leave. He left because he wanted to play football and he didn't want to sit on the bench. So that's why we managed to prize him away. He's gone on and had a great career. Arsenal have ruined him. He's better than what he's showing at Arsenal. It's absolutely clear from what he did in that short period and what he did at Sociedad. I just find this situation where Dortmund are literally trying to go take him. That worries me a little bit, because it's like, why are you forcing him out the door when you haven't got loads of money and you want to normally keep your best players? It just rings of red flags to me, and it makes me think, it's not the one that we go for. But what intrigues me even more is that their report that they seem to think that we've got a first choice right winger that's in play. That's the one that we want to go for. Now, we don't know who that is. Bakayoko's been linked with us, as many other right wingers have been linked with us as well. Brian and Bromo. Okay. I wasn't going to bring it up, Daz. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'll click it up now. Is that, let's just get this out here. It does look like KK is moving on. In fact, he definitely is moving on this month. And there was a little tentative link there with Newcastle United, but I have to say, sad news for all of us is that it does look, that deal for PSG looks like it's going to be rubber stamped any day now. But going back on Malen, I'm with you, boys. I'm thinking, I don't think this is the right deal for us. I think it wouldn't be a smart move. But interesting to see what else is coming out there. What other right wing banger could potentially come through the door. But
what about that suggestion, Pete? If it was something we could do.
If it was a loan, then yes, it would depend on how much the fee was and and wages and all the rest of it, because that all still comes on PSR. But yeah, take him on loan as an option if he was to leave. If Miggy was to leave and he was to come in, would I be mad at that? Not necessarily. But if I'm paying 30 million for him, I'm saying no. Like, no way. I don't think he's worth anything over 20 million, personally, because he is, as some people in the chat have said, hit and miss. He had a good season for them last season. This season, he's not had a good season at all. He's not worth for me anything over 20 million. And I mean 20 million euros, by the way. But that's just kind of my opinion on that. I'm gonna. There's a couple of others that I want to kind of bring to the table just before we wrap, because we could be talking all day about these ones. There is continual links with various different players. However, I thought this one was quite interesting. So it may well feed into what we're looking at. And the Chronicle reported on the fact that we were looking at a German striker. I think he plays for Cologne. And his name is Stefanos Timas. He is is he Panathinaikos or is he playing in? I think he's playing in. I think he's playing in the Bundesliga. On
Nürnberg.
Yeah, in Nürnberg.
Yeah, he's on loan.
And he's having a good season. Lots of teams, are interested in him, and I think someone in our chat mentioned him the other day as a potential option for us to look at. But I just thought it'd be interesting to activate his 15 million release clause this month. What would you say?
I have an idea.
Go on.
I would say send the Greek goalie back to Greece as part of the deal.
Could it be that that's a potential option to get round paying a huge fee?
Also, I've got to add this in, Pete. I've got to mention this because you just brought it up, and this shouldn't come as a shock, boys. This shouldn't come as a shock. Foxy mentions.
I knew someone did.
Yeah, had to be Foxy.
Yeah, it had to be Foxy.
That's why I said it, because I was like, someone mentioned it in a previous show. Yeah.
So he's on loan. He plays for Panathinaikos and he's on loan at Nürnberg. And Nürnberg are expected to activate his 15 million release clause this month, but could be open to selling him for a big profit in the summer. So yeah, that's kind of where we are with that. But yeah, fancy Foxy being the one to bring that up. We know Foxy's always got his eye on these European players, these gems from abroad.
So he scored 8 goals in 10 starts this season.
Ooh.
So he's got 9 goal contributions in 14 games, 10 starts, 8 goals. Seems to come with a real impressive record, clearly having a good loan spell. They want to make it permanent. But 15 million, we paid that for Asula, but he seems to be doing it in the German league at this moment in time. Just one to watch if we're looking for an alternative striker option for Wilson, because Ben Jacobs was quite adamant that we'd be looking at a striker this month to potentially get in. Whether he meant a forward player is in a right wing, a striker or not, I don't know. But we have to sign if Miggy leaves, don't we?
Yeah.
In your opinion,
mate, 100%. I mean, Foxy's just put here. What will happen is Nürnberg will activate the deal, 15 million euro, and then sell for 5 million euros profit in the summer. He scores all types of goals. And you know what, boys? This is something we've got to be mindful of, because we've spoke about, uplifting ourselves and, being good in the transfer market. And who's to say, as you've just suggested, Pete, that we don't maybe look to bring this lad in. And Kenesis says in here, we have Asula. There's no point getting a young striker in January. How ain't playing him? And I take Kenesis's point there. But is this a player that we can turn around a decent profit in? Is this a player we can bring in for 15 million euros and then look, not maybe this summer, but maybe the following summer to move him on? He's a young lad, 19 years old. these are the types of players, aren't they, that we should be looking at, where you're getting a little bargain. They've proved themselves on the big stage. You go in, you pay the reasonable fee for them, whether that be to Panathinaikos or Nuremberg if they activate the clause. And then, you know, in 3 or 4 years' time, are you turning them around and selling for 30, 40 million if you show them promise? And these are the types of deals that we've got to be looking at. There's certain players that we will bring in that won't hit the level or won't be the required standard that we're looking for, but we can turn a profit on them. So it's a possibility.
Definitely. It's an interesting one. Daz, your thoughts on this?
I was just checking the number of likes. Sorry. We've got 120 likes. People, you're only halfway. Come on, step it up. Step it up. We need to get signings through the door.
Only takes a second. Let's get, look, we've got 250 in the house. Get us up to 200 now. Smash us up to 200 and then we're good. Come on. Talk about the fun house here. It's a great feeling.
You've got to hit that like button, guys.
It's the fun house, people. Get those likes up. But I'm going to bring Mbappe's just scored against Barcelona. Classico. So yeah. The one last point I'm going to bring up, and it's related to the right wing, is that look, it's a sticky topic for me because I was fighting off people tooth and nail in the summer about this one, but an interesting situation with this man here, Noni.
No.
Your reaction says everything, Chris. And you know I was fighting tooth and nail with this one.
You were, mate.
But Noni Madueke was left out of the squad in the FA Cup yesterday when they won. I think they played Morecambe and they won 5-0. And he was out the squad completely, not in injury, left out of the squad. And that's raised suspicions, and the Chronicle of Point have reported on it that, you know, there could be a potential to sign Noni Madueke in the January transfer window. This is the last point for me for today. I'm just going to put it out there just as it's a loose link. Would you consider Noni Madueke for your right wing position? Has your opinion changed from the summer to now? What are your thoughts, boys?
Go on,
for me. Yeah, for me. Well, actually, first of all, I'm going to go and click on this one from Kinosi, where he says, pop up?
No.
Maybe not.
Oh, hang on. Do you want me to click it? It's this one, isn't it?
That one. That's the one there, yeah. So he says about the fun house. He always wanted to drive the go-kart. That's what I always wanted to do as well. There's that bit at the end with the drive the go-kart. I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Right, back to the question on Noni. I think we must ask Keith again, but Keith Downey. Remember, he was adamant there was a right winger that we were looking at and potentially going for. I don't think it was Alanga at that stage. And then Noni went off and scored a hat trick, and that kind of ruined everything. But I wouldn't be surprised, if we did go back and look at that one again. He's young enough as well. He did pick it up a bit since we first looked at him, and you were fighting them off, Pete. Look at. We could look at it. I'm not sure it would happen though. Again, giving Chelsea cash as well to do what they like with it, helping them out. Maybe not. I think I'd still look further afield.
Chris, would you look further afield? 5 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League this season for Noni Madueke. Not bad. It's not bad, but would you take him?
He's not anywhere near the top of the list for me. But what I would say is it all depends on price. Because if you can pick Noni Madueke up for the bargain price, you know, Chelsea maybe, you know, we've heard all these rumours about all these clubs that are potentially skimming close to the line for PSR. If there's a bargain basement deal to be done, then, you know, I think he's proven he can play in the Premier League. I think he's proven that he can do a job in the Premier League. He's not top of my list, But then at the same time, Anthony Elanga wasn't top on my list. There's various players, but I think there's a talent in there. And maybe he's just one of those players that just needs a little bit of love, a little bit of you're the main guy, you're the main man, you're going to play week in, week out, go and show us what you can do. Because I do always feel with Chelsea, they're a bit of an anomaly in the sense that, they've always got a top class player breathing down the neck, and quite easily they can just be dropped and not seen for 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So is he top of my list now? If the right deal was, to be done, would I be interested? Possibly. I think Noni Madueke is probably a 25, pushing £30 million player. I wouldn't pay any more than that for him. If Chelsea offered us him for like 40, 50 million, the answer would just be straight no. But, if you could get someone like him in for, say, 25, 30 million, does he improve on Miggy and Murphy? Yeah, I think he does. But it's just something we're going to have to be aware of, and something that, we'll pounce if the opportunity arises. That's how I see it with him. I certainly wouldn't be paying through the nose for him personally. But what about you, Pete? I know you've been questioning yourself on this Madueke deal. At first, it was a firm no, then it was a and then it was a probably not. Where are you with Madueke? Oh, you're on mute, mate.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, mate.
He won't be my go-to guy if I'm looking to sign him. It's interesting how stats kind of do you, really, because you're looking. I was looking at that. It almost surprised me. I was looking at stats. I was like, oh, he's scored 5 goals. He's got 3 assists, 8 goal contributions. Not bad at all. But then you remember, like, didn't he score like a hat trick against Wolves or something in the first or second day of the season? So then you look at it, you think, okay, well, it was masked a little bit because he scored 3 in one game. So he's only scored since. And it's a bit like, okay. So maybe it's not as amazing as what it looks in terms of numbers. And so, yeah. Well, what I will say is that a lot of Chelsea fans, I think, have become frustrated with him. He's everything. He's become everything that I mentioned in the summer. He's not consistent enough. He's erratic in his play. And it's everything with the final ball. He's fast. He's tricky. He can create opportunities and openings, which is fine. But his final ball is not good enough. And it just reminds me of Miguel Almirón. Miguel Almirón's exactly the same. He'll run all day for you. He's fast. He's tricky. Can open up opportunities in space. When you want him to play your final ball, when you want the cross to be spot on, when you want that last piece of the puzzle to be what we want our right winger to offer, Noni Madueke doesn't produce it. And, that's the big question mark about him. And you don't want to be paying 30 million, 40 million, what Chelsea will probably demand you pay for someone that's going to be producing that. Because when you're paying 30, 40 million, you want something more of a sure thing, or something where it's already regularly producing and is going to get better. Brian Mbeumo is the guy that would just knit this front three together. Imagine that. Brian Mbeumo, who's got double figures this season. Gordon on the other side, that's going to get, in my opinion, double figures this season. He's very close to it already. And then you've got the best striker in the world. Just imagine that. You've got creativity. You've got goals from either wing. You've got creativity. As a striker, you're going to get served. You've got pace and directness in and around it. You've got everything you need in that front three. Go and pay the money and get a ready-made player. The problem is that every man and his dog is going to be looking at Brian Mbeumo in the summer. And so that's where it becomes a bigger problem. But for me, Noni Madueke, no thank you. I would much rather go into Europe and get a young potential than go and overpay in England and get that young potential. That's what I would much rather do. So we've talked about players like, Ryan Cherky, who I wasn't overly keen on over a year ago. I thought we don't want that. I don't think Eddie Howe wants that tricky player that can open and unlock doors. But actually, it's probably what we need right now. That's just one example. There are others out there that we could look at potentially to bring in. I'd be looking in Europe because it's a lot cheaper and better value for your money. So it's kind of where I'm at, boys.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I think that's fair.
Yeah, Bakayoko, there's the other one. Brandt has mentioned it as well. He was the obvious one we talked about before.
Yeah.
Boys.
We could continue, but we're going to leave it there in terms of what links we've got. There's some more potential links. There's some curveball ones that we could have thrown. There's a couple that I haven't even put up on the system, but we'll leave that for another time, boys. But anything you boys want to bring up or mention? I think we've got another draw.
Got two.
We have another draw. Two. Yeah, let's do it. Let's share screen and get ready for those next draws. So, Chris, talk us through what's up for grabs this time.
Yep, so similar to the first two, and congratulations to Jules and 9 goals. Again, for anyone new watching, we've already had two £25 draws, and Jules and 9 goals were the winners of the first 2 draws, and we're going to do another 2 draws now. So it's for the £25 voucher, and as we've said earlier, you can spend that on the Loaded Mag website. Get yourself on there, get some Loaded Mag merch. Or you could put it towards, the Newcastle United website and treat yourself to the new retro shirt. But yeah, loads of options. But best of luck to everyone in the draw. I think we've removed the 2 previous names, haven't we, Daz? And we've added in Tom, who became a member earlier today. So yeah, congratulations and good luck to everybody.
Best of luck. Here we go. Draw number 3. 4 of the night. If you include the FA Cup draw.
Yeah.
What's galore?
Who's that?
Magpie Stew. Congratulations, Magpie Stew. Get in contact with us, Magpie Stew. You are a winner.
Yeah, and are we right in saying, boys, that are we going to give maybe a deadline before we put it back into the pot?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Pete. I think we give our usual 7-day deadline, so people have got to claim by the 19th of January, which is next Sunday. So you've got to make your claim in before that date, and then so if you can get in touch with us by then, that would be fantastic.
Nice one. So this is our final draw of the night. So we're down to 112 entries now in this one. So best of luck again.
Good luck, people. Who was it?
Ooh, 1983. Congratulations to 1983.
Congratulations.
You are a winner. Cool. That is pretty much it. I'm going to see, can I add a picture up here as well while in a second to close out the show. What time do you call this, Lisa? But we want to tell people as well. We tell them what's happening tomorrow evening.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Let's break and Tuesday even, because we're going to have shows Monday and Tuesday. So coming up tomorrow at 6:30, it's another fully loaded transfer show with a guest and a new guest. Pete, talk us through this one.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Looking forward to this. So, boys, we are welcoming in a new guest. We have Alex Barker from The Athletic. He's going to be coming in as a Euro expert, a European football expert, and he will be. We've put it this way: we've set him the challenge, people. We've set him the challenge. We've looked at 2 key positions that we feel Newcastle United need to strengthen, and what we've asked him to do is identify players in each position that he thinks will be best suited to Newcastle United. Now, if you haven't seen Alex Barker, he put a really, really good video out on social media talking about Newcastle, and he mentioned a player that will not be named on the right wing because Chris will hammer me for it, to say that he would be an ideal right winger for Newcastle United. And Chris, cover your ears, he may well be talking about him again tomorrow. But he'll be talking about numerous players. And so it'll be great to come in and get his opinion. And he's coming in as an outsider, not necessarily a Newcastle fan, but he's coming in having observed Newcastle and what they need, and is going to suggest players that he thinks are the best suited for Newcastle. So different type of Fully Transfer Show. We may throw in some of our other links that we didn't get discussed today. So another reason to come back and tune in to us tomorrow night. So it'll be really, really good to talk to Alex and finally get him on the channel, which is great to see. So us boys are really looking forward to it. It should be a great chat.
And linked to our next guest on the show on Tuesday, and Nobby, what are you saying here? He liked the twins on Funhouse. Well, they are not joining us, but here's a picture to remind you, Nobby, of the twins on Funhouse. And of course, there's Anthony Gordon, aka Pat Sharp, in the middle there, the team for the night. But linking back to our actual show, our Tuesday night, it's this one. It's Away Days. Pete, talk us through.
Little Dan is very excited to come back and join us in the green room and on the channel to preview what is a massive bumper double whammy week for Newcastle United. 2 home games, Wolves and Bournemouth, and this is the first of the 2. Wolves have picked up a little bit of form and performances have improved with their new manager bouts, and we'll get all the details about it from Little Dan, who, as we know, he never holds back, does Little Dan. So we'll have a good chat with him on Tuesday evening, 8:00. Be there. We'll put up the tweets and everything. But click the notification bell if you haven't already, because that will alert you that the show's about to begin. So if you haven't already, do that. And whilst you're there, click the like. Otherwise, Daz will have you. We're trying to get that 250 likes. So make sure you're clicking that like, people.
I'll start deleting shows that we've planned out of the system. How about that, Pete? How about that? And there's a lot hidden in there as well that people don't know about and cannot see. So you don't want to be doing that. That is it. That is it. We covered a lot tonight. We had the reaction show. We had the fully loaded transfer show. We had draws. We had FA Cup draws. We had our own 4 prizes that were given away. So nice one. Thanks to everyone for sticking with us for our show. We can't believe we got it all done in 2 hours, 15 minutes, lads.
Yeah.
Back tomorrow. See you at
Bumper
6:30. Good luck. Have a nice weekend, the rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.
Each and every single day, I know I'm gonna have to eventually give you